Hi, I have been asked to explain into detail exactly how different systems on this campervan work. So, in terms of electrical system, water system, grey water, solar system, and so on. So, I'm going to start with electrical system. An electrical system I would divide into two groups. One is DC and other one is AC. Direct current and alternating current. Now, direct current, it would be sectioned in three different sides. One would be the vehicle 12-volt system. The other one would be storage battery or storage battery block, which it's got two batteries to store like leisure batteries to store electricity, and the third part would be solar panel with charger. An AC system then would be consist of power inverter that would invert 12-volt DC into 230 AC and feed power sockets and some other appliances around the van. Now, let's start with the vehicle 12-volt system. It's a standard Fiat Ducato, getting charged by alternator when engine is running. The battery is in the floor in front of the passenger seat in the front. The status of the battery and the voltage can be read on this little voltmeter here, only when ignition is turned on. And the cabin lights and the stereo are powered by that vehicle system. Also, the strip light, courtesy door entry strip light above the side door, below the side door as well, and above the back doors, there's another strip light there. They're coming on with vehicle interior lighting. Also, there's another light that comes off same circuit, and that's this little light here. Another LED light, like a desk light, as you can see, right above the seating area. So that would be vehicular system, 12-volt DC system. Now, by using van's own battery, I have installed a split charge relay, 40 amps split charge relay, and purpose of that is that when engine is running and the voltage of the battery exceeds 13 volts, then the relay will, like automatic switch, open up, close the contacts and let power run and feed and trickle charge leisure batteries. Now, the leisure batteries are on the back, and you will be able to find the relay, split charge relay, right next to vehicle battery on the front, within battery compartment. It's been isolated with 40 amp blade fuse, and then cable runs underneath the van. It's one of these two red cables, the upper one, and runs all the way back, trailed along the beam, and enters the battery compartment down here, and there it is, and it's coming the positive side, and it's isolated there with another blade fuse. Now, the negative terminals on 12-volt DC system on this van are all linked up over the chassis. So chassis, it's negative terminal for all DC systems. Now, by linking van's battery over the split charge relay to leisure batteries, we are trickle charging these leisure batteries. You've got one here and another one there. They're getting trickle charged whilst engine is running. That's one part of DC system. Now, from the leisure batteries, we have one outlet going to a fuse box that then feeds two things. One of them is out on the front of the van, this control panel and cigarette lighters type socket. Control panel gives us reading or status in voltage of the leisure batteries, and the cigarette lighter socket can be used to power, say for example, sat nav that you can mount up high and have a cable going straight into the cigarette lighter socket up here, so the cable doesn't dangle down over the windscreen. And the other thing here is the other switch, it's that one there, that powers a water pump, because water pump for water system is run on 12 volts DC. The other thing that's powered with 12 volt DC of the van, of the leisure battery, are these three light switches. One is for the main part of the van. The second one is for the galley in front of the storage compartments and the fridge. And the third one is in the little shower toilet cubicle. And another section that is using same power from leisure batteries would be underneath this passenger seat on the back. You can see this grill, and underneath behind that there is air space heater run off diesel, and the 12 volts is used for ignition and for running the fan that will blow the warm air or hot air out into the middle section of the van. That's that section, or that part of AC system. Sorry, DC system. The another part is on the roof of the van. We got solar panel, 250 watt solar panel that is trailed down in the rear pillar, and it's coming to this double pole isolator switch. From double pole isolator switch comes into the MPPT charge controller. So you got positive and negative coming there. Then you got positive and negative going from there to batteries isolator, and then from batteries isolator goes to batteries. And that system trickle charges these two leisure batteries during sunny days. There's another function of this solar panel system is on the third load position. I took a positive connection into another double pole isolator switch and trailed the cable along the underside of the van on the bin. That is the red cable there. That is the lower one, and it's entering the vehicle battery compartment in front of the van isolated with a fuse at that point and at point of the leisure batteries on the back. And what that does is when vehicle is stationed for a long period of time, the solar panel system is used via this switch and the programmed load side of the charge controller to trickle charge the vehicle battery. So the vehicle battery always stays healthy and fully charged up, ready to go. Now that is that third part of DC. Now we can move on to AC. In this power box unit underneath the bunk bed on the back of the van, we have this shiny silver thing, which is power inverter. This is on, as it says, 1000 watt continuous or 2000 watt peak output. It's connected with two sets of cables to leisure battery block, and as such is drawing power 12 volt DC into the power inverter, and it's producing 240 or 230 modular wave power. So I just turned it on. There's a little switch there. Green light comes on. This plug here, with this orange cable, feeds that little fuse box that then feeds a couple of things. One of them is a power socket above food preparation area or kitchenette. The other one is power socket with USB chargers in the seating area, and also we got here a switch for water boiler to give us hot water. The water boiler is positioned underneath these passenger seats in the back, between the seats, and the little shower can be accessed through this panel here, and there it is. It's Truma Therma 300 watt 300 watt power consumption of the boiler. Sorry, I just got a bit got a bit of brain block for a moment. So that's the little boiler, and also here we have two drain off cocks for the draining the water system, but I'll come back to that in a minute. So that's that side of AC. The other side of AC would be this plug here, which is trailed behind the leisure battery there and runs towards the fridge. And we have a standard household under counter fridge. This one is made by Beko. Let me try to get more on it. You can get details there. And that power inverter runs this fridge continuously off the leisure batteries. Can be turned off by unplugging the right hand side plug of the inverter. And that basically is the electrical system on this van. Now let's go on to the water system. There is a 75-litre water storage tank underneath the passenger seats on the front side, basically underneath that big box there that doubles as another storage compartment for luggage. Underneath there, so there is 75-litre water storage tank, freshwater storage tank. On that side there we have a 12-volt DC Sureflow pump with a pressure controller. The pump is operated or switched on by the switch above the dashboard. So by turning that switch, the pump is powered on and builds the pressure into the system. And then we have feed pipe going underneath the floor into behind these seats. We got water heater boiler there, and that's where cold water supply from the tank and the pump splits into two. One carries on as a cold water supply to kitchen tap and to basin shower tap, and the other side goes into the boiler, and then from the boiler runs as a hot side for these two taps. Now the boiler can be accessed for inspections and servicing from this side for quick inspection and service, and also these seats can be fully removed with only 4 bolts that are bolted down to the beam, and fully accessed for any further repairs or maintenance. Now, as we can see, we have 2 valves here that going through the floor. Them valves, one serves hot water and one serves cold water, and they're used as a drain off cocks when the winter time comes and you're not using the van, so you stop any water freezing inside of the system. You drain the water from all the system, and these two stop drain off cocks, and then same system is empty and van is ready to safe storage during freezing conditions in the winter. Taps are just the normal household taps with hot and cold, then running off the pump, so they have no switches. The way how it works, as soon as you open the tap, the pressure will start dropping. The micro switch on the pump will recognize that and it will turn the pump on. And same with that tap, and also we got this one here, which got this little switch, so you can press it and change from one setting, from like tap setting to shower setting, and this doubles as shower head if you need a quick rinse or shower here in the van. So that is the water system. Also another important thing for the water system is the filling point for the water. And filling point or filler cup is on the driver's side behind the door, accessed by key, and there it is. Fresh water from the tap goes in there. Got 2 keys, and that's the water system. Grey water system on or wastewater on this van. Obviously it goes, kitchen sink goes down this bowl, down that grey hose to on the side of the van, and underneath, roughly underneath the fridge, there is a grey water tank, 25-litre grey water tank. Also to that tank are connected basin that goes with this grey hose down that way to the chassis under the floor, and also picks up the shower outlet valve. That is a click lock, so you can close that when not in use, so you don't get any smells back, or also water splashes if the tank is nearly full, because it sometimes can happen in the driving when van is rocking or bouncing down the road happily, that if grey water tank is pretty full, that some of water splashing might come back up. So by pressing this valve, you are stopping that. And obviously when you're using the shower, all you need to do is with your foot, you just press it and water goes away there. Now the tank can be seen underneath there. That black thing there, it's water tank, and it comes out with this this valve and a pipe here. It's just a lever valve, can be shut off or opened up. Because now tank is empty, I keep it just open so it can vent out this way. So that's again on the driver's side, low down, discreetly mounted drainage pipe. Right, whilst we're here, let's talk about the toilet. It's just a standard cassette toilet with manual flush. There is a filler cup for the flush, and we have a lever here to open the bottom compartment. Entire toilet is removable. It's just placed within these stops on the floor. It just sits there. So there you go. That's the toilet. Easy to use, easy to operate, to clean, to empty. There's plenty of room in front of little shower to actually pick the toilet up and carry it out outside for cleaning or servicing. The space heater is run by diesel. It's underneath that seat there, passenger seat. Blows hot air out by the floor, low down, in front of the little sink area. It's operated by the switch controller for the driver's side. The switch controller is here. You can see little green light flashes every now and again there. It tells you that it's on standby. It's powered up. It's powered by leisure batteries, 12-volt system. At the moment it's 5 degrees. Target is 20 degrees. By pressing the button again, it will initiate starting sequence. And it's depending on how often it's been used, it can take up to a couple of minutes to start. Now the feed for that heater is underneath here, between the seats. This is access panel for top of the fuel tank, and that's where the fuel feed is taken off for the heater, and then it goes down below under the floor, and that's where the fuel pump is. That there is the fuel pump for the heater, and it's been trailed up under the floor towards the heater. The side of the heater can be seen here on the driver's side under the van. You can see there, that's, you got few hoses coming out. That one there, corrugated black one, that's the air inlet for the burner. That protected one that goes out in the back, that is the exhaust system, and we got fuel line coming in and electrical connections there as well, and the whole thing is fitted underneath the passenger seat. Another thing for comfort of the ride of the vehicle, as you can see, the van sits nicely and high on the back, is the air suspension on the back. regulator and filler for air suspension is by the bottom of the driver's seat. We have connection there. You can just use normal tire inflator or compressor and stop at any garage and adjust the pressure. Relieve the pressure, you can just push the little pin with a pen or your nail, or to pump it up you need to use either foot pump, hand pump, compressor, whatever you prefer. And it's a very simple system. From that point, little blue hose goes under the van. Let me try to find it. There can be seen there on the back of the blue hose, and it goes towards the back, and it's got a T-piece that then splits it into one airbag on one side and the other airbag on the other side. You can just about see that blue hose on the bottom. Now the vehicle still has its own leaf suspension springs and shock absorbers, so the air system is in addition to the original system. Airbags are in addition to original rear suspension to improve the riding height and riding comfort whilst the van is loaded up. Another point on electrical is electrical hookup, which is just there underneath the bumper below the side barn door, and on the inside it's access there. That's where we got the power access on the inside, and then can feed fuse board for AC system or the fridge inside of the van. There is about 8 or 10 meters of hookup cable, also supplied in the back rear storage compartment. The van is also fitted with reverse camera. The camera is there, it's infrared color camera. It comes on automatically with putting gearbox in reverse gear, and that's a 7-inch TFT color monitor that then gets automatically activated when you put the van in reverse, and you have a nice clear picture directly down of the van, probably about 6-7 foot behind, and you can use easily these two door bump stops as the guides of the sides of the van, because camera literally points downwards like that. So you can reverse into nice tight spaces with a millimeter precision, coming nice and gently onto the bollard or wall or other parked vehicle, and without fear that you're going to crash the van or the other vehicle. So in the van we put ignition on, and I'll operate gearbox, gear stick, just get it like that, and as we put in reverse, it's a bit hard to see with this sun, but there is nice clear picture of color picture of behind the van, space behind the van. You can see just there on the bottom there's a line of the van. Oh, that's better, that's better. You can see the little pump stop on one side, there's other one on the other side. There's a bit of shadowing there, and you can see the road behind, you can see the curb with some leaves. I'm going to put something on the back and then come back here to see, can we actually see that. So that's that shadow we can see. So if I put a 20p coin on top of this bump, we should be able to see that. Yes, there is. There is 20p coin right there. So let's check now. You can see it's gone there. So it's very precise. I'll try to put it down on the bottom there, on the bumper. It is on the bumper. Right, there it is. It's right out there. So the camera and the monitor is so fine, you can see small details clearly on it. You can see there. That's 20p right there. To access equipment under the seats, it's very easy and simple. For this passenger seat and the water tank, there's one screw down below there. Right, I'm just gonna zoom it in. Right, there is that screw there. So I'm gonna undo that screw, and all this panel can be slid out that way. Right, let's try to demonstrate this now. As you can see, the whole panel slides out, and there it is. You got that blue water tank, and behind there, oops, let's go to the other side. Down on the back there is a water pump and the pressure regulator, that blue vessel. And you can see it's all nice and dry, actually a bit dusty there as well. There's no condensation, no water leaks, nothing. And space is premium in the van, so you can see everything is really measured to the millimeter and it's tight. Now if you have to do any further servicing, the seats can be removed by undoing these two bolts on this side, and there are two bolts on the other side. There's one there and one behind, and the entire seat comes up and out. So to refit it, place the front like that, and then the entire thing just slides back in, and all I need to do is just replace that screw on the back side in the corner. There you go, done. In a similar way, the other seat comes apart. We have one panel up here with a screw on top, and one panel there, and once we undo them, the whole thing can slide out this way, and again we can access air heater, boiler, and again with the 4 bolts, very similar to this seat, we can undo this seat block and take it away. It's literally 10-15 minute job to remove and put everything back together. Right, electrical system. As I explained already, it's divided into a few sections of 12 volt DC, which would be the van side, and that consists of engine, alternator on it, and that will power up battery that is placed in a footwell passenger side. Now on that battery put another connection. The negative is always connected to the chassis of the van. From the positive side, I have put fuse, and then split charge relay. So when the voltage on the vehicle battery exceeds 13 volts, automatically will close the contacts and let electricity flow through the cable to the back of the van, where I have two leisure batteries. Sorry, that's minus. And again, it has got fuse there. Connects positive. Negative is connected to chassis. And then we have these two batteries linked up together. Now, from that point, the positive connection goes into the little fuse box, which has got some blade fuses, and there's one outlet from there going to lights, interior lights, and it's going to three or triple switch. So from each one of these contacts, one goes to one light, other one goes to another light, and the last one goes to another light. This one is on in the middle section of the van. This one is in front of the bathroom or kitchen area, and one in a bathroom area. Also, there is another fuse going to the very front of the van, where I got two switches. One switch operates the water pump, and other switch operates small control panel with a voltmeter and cigarette lighter socket in the cab. That socket is usually used for sat-nav, for charging sat-nav. And that's basically 12 volt system in the van side. Then we have a solar panel up on the roof, and from solar panel we have two cables coming down, positive and negative. It's got two pole switch or double pole switch. Then from the switch it goes to MPPT controller. From MPPT controller got again positive and negative, goes to another switch, isolator switch, double pole switch, and that is then connected to our leisure batteries or storage batteries. By doing that, we are charging storage batteries from vehicle battery via split charge relay when van is running. When van is not running, that split charge relay is switched off. We're getting power from solar panel through MPPT controller into the batteries. With these two double pole switches, we can isolate the controller, we can isolate the solar panel from the system, we can isolate the rest of the batteries. Now, from this point here, next to this solar panel controller, we got another double pole switch. And that one has got connection from one of the load connectors on MPPT controller. I'm just trying to find the best place to, that's it, like that. Because what it does, the MPPT controller allows the loading that side directly from the solar panel in the times when the sun is strongest. When that switch is switched on, then that power can trickle back through this cable all the way back to vehicle battery and trickle charge a vehicle battery whilst van is not in use for a long time. So for you to actually preserve the power of the vehicle battery as a constant high power, you can use solar panel to trickle charge the vehicle battery. Of course, there is another fuse on that side of the line, and there is another fuse on this side of the line. So, because these lines, this one and the other one that is charging from split charge relay running underneath the van, in case of any accident or scraping the wires on some bushes or curb or anything, very unlikely, but they are fairly protected. But if it happens, you don't the cable doesn't get shorted, or if it does get shorted, the fuse will blow on both sides and isolate the batteries from the shortening. Now, that's the DC system. Then, if we go to AC system of the van, we have our leisure batteries. They are connected together, and from the leisure batteries we have connection to power inverter. I have fitted 1000 watt continuous or 2000 watts or 2 kilowatts peak power inverter. It's got inbuilt fuse, and it's got thermal overload protection, and also has got a low voltage alarm, and it's got on-off switch and 2 sockets. Two power sockets for 13 amp plugs. Low voltage alarm will sound from the inverter if the voltage from the storage batteries drop below, I think it's something like 11 volts, because it will struggle to actually convert the power to full 240 or 30 volts that is supposed to come out as AC. Now, from one of these sockets, cable leads to a fuse board or fuse box, and from that point cable goes to one double socket that is in kitchen area, and the other side goes to another double socket with two USBs, and that is at the table. Also, from the other socket of the power inverter, the cable goes to the fridge, it's just a standard household under-counter fridge, runs on 240 volts, made by Lec. But any other fridge of that size will fit in. So that is basically AC system. Now, on the underside of the van, there is a hookup point with a lid. It's a 3-pin socket, and also there is a plug, 3-pin plug with a long cable and standard 13 amp plug on end of it, for charging or hooking up a van to standard household electricity. Inside of the van, on other side of this plug, there is a single 3-hole socket with a switch that you can run and connect either this cable into it, or the fridge cable, or even maybe if you run say small 3-way lead, you can connect both of them, and also you can connect a power charger or trickle charger to charge leisure batteries whilst you're on a hookup. So that's the AC system. I will include these in the van. Now for water system, I'll try schematically show the van from above. Oops. So that's the bonnet on the front. We got front seats. We got a double seat on the back. There is another double seat. There's a little bathroom area. And sliding door, front door, back doors, bunk beds on the back, cupboard, sink with a tap, basin here, with a tap there. Now, regards to the water system, we have 75-litre tank under the seat, filler cup, it's right by the driver's door, so steering wheel there. On this side here in this corner we have a pump that takes hose in and then out, probably goes the other way around. From that it goes to pressure regulator. It's like a cylindrical item that regulates pressure and stops the hammering. So that's then pressure regulator, that's pump. Then from there hose goes alongside of the floor or through the frame of the van, goes to the back here, and here we got boiler, and that's the point where pipe separates into two sections. So one stays as cold, another one feeds the boiler. And then coming out, that one is hot and that one is cold. Then we have two drain off cocks. For draining the water system during winter. And then from that point we got hot and cold supply back to basin in the bathroom that can pull out into the shower, and the other side into kitchen area for the sink. Now from the sink, the wastewater, let me just get another pen. Try if this one can work. Yeah, brown one. So from that point it goes under the van, wastewater, and somewhere here I would say under the van there is a grey water storage tank. I think it's 25 liters. So it connects sink, kitchen sink connects to it, and the basin also connects to it, and this is the shower area, the toilet cassette here. In bottom corner here there's another outlet for the shower floor, like a wet room, and that is also connected to that line, and the same line is used as drain off. For the grey water on the side of the van there is a monolever valve, 22 millimeters pipe, and you can actually extend it with a hose further down or just drain it off straight at that point into the bucket and then safely dispose it. But that is just a drain off from the sinks. Now there is also toilet cassette, and that one can be lifted and taken out and drained appropriately where necessary. And that is basically the water system of the van. It's very compact. The seats, both of these seats on the back, they're coming out. They got 4 bolts as shown on the video each. Once the fascia cladding comes off, slides out, you got exposed 4 bolts. You can undo them and that entire seat can be lifted up and out of the van, and you have full access to all these components. Also underneath this seat here, I'll just get another pen. Let's see if this one will do. Underneath this seat here we got, if I say D, that is diesel heater. Next to driver's seat in the footwell there is a control unit. Cable runs underneath and connects to there. The fuel tank is accessible from the hatch right next to the passenger seat. That's where the fuel tank is, underneath the vehicle, because filler cap is on that side between the passenger door and the sliding door. Next to that, behind, it's a fuel pump. Fuel pipe comes to the fuel pump and goes around and feeds the diesel heater. Diesel heater extinguishes hot air through the grill on the side of the seat. Exhaust gases are directed underneath the van towards rear. I hope it's not too complicated. It's a bit clear on different colors, but that basically is water system, diesel heater system, and grey water. In the folder with the van we've included all these instruction manuals. This is for MPPT charger for solar. Then we've got here all the bits for diesel heater. It's in Russian and English. I think this comes from Russia. It's a planar heater. Our one is 5 kilowatts, and you got all instructions there. First half of the booklet is in Russian, second half is in English, with all details and all explanations and everything. It's very similar to the Basto heaters and very similar to these Chinese copy heaters. If you ever have to replace it, they're about 70 or 80 pounds online. When I bought it, it was much more expensive. It was about 500 back then. Anyway, this is the hot water boiler. Again, fitted under the seat as explained. Right, this is split charge relay installation guide with instructions, and I might even have a receipt there somewhere. Yeah, there's a receipt as well for it. It was 44 pounds including VAT. Then there's a power inverter, somewhere there's a receipt as well. I've seen that earlier. Again, all the details of the power inverter. Vent in the bathroom, Fiamma. Again, for any spare parts or anything, you can refer to this. Then, what else is installed? Right, Sureflow freshwater pump for RVs and caravans. Again, all the details of the pump, spare parts and everything, the way how it's supposed to be installed. This is for freshwater tank. Alright, 70 liters, I thought it's 75 earlier, so it's 70 liters, the way how it's supposed to be installed. it's pretty much just one big plastic vessel, so I don't think any spare parts will be ever involved in that. This is the other booklet for the boiler. This is received for power inverter. What we got here? Oh, this is the pressure regulator or expansion tank fitted on the water system. Again, Fiat for motorhomes. We got water filler cup, and this is where I got light strips and recessed lights like that, them up in the ceiling from this company. I'll include that as well. If you need replacement ones, you can get direct replacements from them, I hope. And this is few years back, 2016, so quite a few years back, when we replaced gearbox. So we got a full rebuild of the gearbox for £1,400. You can see a total cost was £2,481 for the lot. The rest of the van has been looked after, oils changed regular and everything else.